Digital. I'm Neha. The counting of votes is currently underway for the West Bengal Assembly election. Although the TMC is leading in over 200 seats, but the BJP has made significant and deep inroads in states politics. The TMC is doing very well, undoubtedly, but the BJP is also doing fairly well given the leads that it has achieved in many prominent districts across West Bengal. Well, of course, if the TMC wins, Mamta Banerjee will be sworn in as the Chief Minister of West Bengal for the third consecutive term, which is nothing short of a massive achievement. Quickly, let's take in Arjun Chatterjee, senior journalist from West Bengal. Thank you very much, Arjun, for joining us on such a short notice. Of course, the first question that comes to everybody's mind is that BJP has made inroads, undoubtedly, but the TMC is also now eyeing an impressive win. In fact, they're quite close to what they achieved in 2016. So, Mamta Banerjee will be the chief minister, of course, for the third time. What do you think really has worked for the TMC, despite the fact that BJP portrayed itself as a strong opposition, a force to reckon with?
Well, Neha, this has been a very interesting election. I mean, in our career as a journalist, this is one of those trickiest elections that we have covered. Uh, we knew the contest was being fought neck and neck, but we also expected a one-sided result. Either way, be it for Ms. Mamta Banerjee or for the BJP. Now, uh, this is a landslide victory in a way, and this is hat trick for Mamta Banerjee in a state where we have seen governments being elected one after the other. We have seen a 34-year left rule. Now this is the third term for the Trinamool Congress, All India Trinamool Congress. Yes, as you pointed out, BJP did make inroads. There were 3 seats in the last assembly election. From there, they're going somewhere close to 70, 80. We'll have to wait till the end of the results. The final results are declared. But what we are understanding, there are many combinations and calculations that have happened. One is the participation of women voters who have believed in Mamta Banerjee, kept their trust. Point number two is the consolidation of the minority votes. The around 30% Muslim votes that we have in Bengal, they realized that BJP is a threat, and the Hindutva card did not go down very well with them. That vote has been consolidated and have moved to the Trinamool Congress. Seen in
Well,
the
talking
Bengal
about
Assembly.
opposition, Rohit, the BJP really wanted to dethrone Mamta Banerjee, but it ended up replacing the opposition. I beg your pardon, Arjun.
Yes.
It kind of ended up replacing the opposition. And it is now the principal opposition if you take a look at the leads right now.
Well, if you talk about the left and the Sanyukta Morcha, as they call it, the left and the Congress combined, along with a few other parties, they were not doing very well. In fact, recent trends and results that are coming in says that the chief opposition leader of the Congress party in the parliament, Indian parliament, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, he is known as a very, strong, influential political leader in the district of Murshidabad. In that particular district itself, Congress has almost been decimated. So these are warning bells. I mean, the warning bells have been ringing for a long, long time, but the Congress High Command has not taken much note of that, apparently, it seems. But yes, the combination of the left and the Congress is not there at all. And the BJP has come up as a primary opposition in the West Bengal Assembly. It needs to be seen how Mamta Banerjee and the Trinamool Congress now react to this kind of a political equation where most of the campaign was based on development.
Arjun, the BJP from the very beginning continued to claim that they are going to win over 200 seats. Ab ki baar 200 par. But that did not happen. Instead, the TMC ended up, leading in over 200 at this point in time, if you have to speak about. So, where did you think the BJP went wrong?
The BJP, there is obviously a political campaign that has to, till the very last moment, you keep saying that you're going to win, even when you see the signs are out there. But the clear narrative that the BJP wanted to bring in was the CA, the NRC. Then there was a kind of opposition for the minority. That's a significant amount of votes in Bengal. They were also talking about development, but it's a kind of politics that Bengal, as the results have proved, they did not accept. The politics, because we got to see that ministers from the cabinet in the BJP government, chief ministers in states where BJP rules, They had all flown in. So all biggies, all top guys of the BJP were here. But in spite of that, they failed to convince because Bengal, the very social fabric of Bengal, if you historically look at it, is very different in terms of we belong to that part of India which is also bordering, which has an international border with a neighboring country, Bangladesh. We have uh, several other states around us which are very significant, not just for the economy, but for the policy as well. So overall, people in Bengal were not accepting this divisive politics as
Right.
because they felt that BJP would, along with it, bring in a sort of Hindutva card in the
I want
previous
to come to
election.
that point also, but quickly, if we have to speak about Arjun first, Malda and Murshidabad, let's
Yes.
just quickly talk about that as well. Traditionally favored Congress, but now is swinging towards BJP and the Congress. Surprisingly, the Congress party did try to divide the Muslim vote by roping in ISF, but that clearly did not work out in its favor. So the point is that is it the last nail in Congress's coffin, if we have to speak about, or is it too early to say?
As a journalist, I would say, I mean, in politics, equations and dynamics keep changing, but the Congress has been lying in the coffin for quite a long time. It's just that they're not getting the signals right, or probably they're not working on their leadership. Because it is very significant when Congress finds itself almost decimated in districts like Malda and Murshidabad. Now, if you strategically, these are those two districts where there's a lot of minority community living there. These are also those two districts which are bordering Bangladesh. A lot of trade officially and illegal trade, all of that happens in these two districts. Now, Malda, Murshidabad has always been a stronghold of the left and the Congress, particularly the Murshidabad. Here, the voters were divided. One was the Muslim vote, the minority vote, which realized that if they don't vote for the Trinamool Congress, then their vote would be wasted because they realized that the Congress and the left would not be in power. So who would be protecting them at the village level if it is the attack that comes from the BJP? So this entire chunk of vote went to the Trinamool Congress. On the other hand, the Hindu vote was not consolidated. A bit of that went to the left, but that did not materialize into seats. But the rest of them also, some went for the BJP, some went to Trinamool Congress. This consolidation of the minority votes in these two districts made a major shift in the vote results that we are expecting. And Congress has to really go for, as the BJP call it, Atmachintan. They have to really think the key leader, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, he's a very strong leader. I mean, in his own district, if Congress finds themselves decimated, then it's a final call, I think, for them.
Arjun, very interestingly, the Bengali Bhodralok, the intellectuals have still sided with Mamta Banerjee. The urban voters are in favor of Mamta Banerjee, while the rural voters have swung in favor of the BJP. So, how significant is it really when we speak about, in terms of vote share of the two parties?
Neha, I would, I mean, uh,
In terms
agree
of,
to disagree with
in terms
you.
of
Yeah,
dividing the vote share of both the parties.
in terms of rural voters, you would also notice that the Trinamool, the amount of lead or the victories that they're getting would not have happened had the rural voters not voted for them. Yes, there has been a sharp divide that has been created in the rural Bengal, which has resulted in some votes and significant amount of votes for the BJP. Talking about the quintessential Bengali, the thinking Bengali, the apparently within quotes I'd say that they have always been saying that what Bengal thinks today, India thinks tomorrow. That's essentially a provincial statement. I would not want to reiterate that. But, the idea is, as we speak, uh, significant leaders in India, like Akhilesh Yadav from the Samajwadi Party, he has already tweeted thanking Didi, Mamta Banerjee. We are seeing a rise of the DMK in down south in Tamil Nadu. So Mr. Stalin would be probably there as the chief minister. What the Bengali Bhadralok, as you say, is thinking, they are looking at, and this is also our understanding, that looking at the 2024 general elections, Mamata Banerjee can emerge as the face of the formidable opposition against the BJP. Now, we belong to a state, you have to remember, if you go back to history, There was a time in 1996 when the United Front had offered the communist leader Jyoti Basu to become the chief minister, to become the prime minister of India, which he could not take because of his internal party oppositions. A certain faction did not allow him. Mr. Basu had then called it a historical blunder. Now, the quintessential Bhadralok, or the Bengalis in India, in Bengal, have not forgotten that victory, that history, and they are being kept remindful of it after this landslide victory of Trinamool Congress. So I'm sure that will galvanize again, and there will be a push for Mamata Banerjee to emerge as the new face opposite BJP in the national political scenario.
Let's quickly talk about Prashant Kishore now. Arjun, the Prashant Kishore factor. He promised he will give them 200 seats, and he has kept his promise. So, he ensured that the TMC secures over 200 seats with his poll strategy. He has proven his mettle once again.
Absolutely. I mean, it's day for PK. And, he has his job cemented in Punjab. I'm sure he's going to get an incentive on a lighter note there. But this is the same Prashant Kishore who brought the Modi government to power. So the BJP should not have underestimated him. His institution, they have gone down to the grassroots level, did some research, and Prashant Kishore in almost all television channel interviews had pretty much confidently said that he would give up this job if Trinamool Congress does not come back to power.
Well, he said this space, so we don't really know which space he's talking about, because that left many of us confused. What is he talking about? Is he talking about Twitter? Is he talking about politics? There was quite a confusing statement.
I was wondering if the results had been the other way around, Prashant Kishore would have got back to politics, which he has done in the past. He has admitted that he had failed. He would again try. But I think he has still got to continue in this role for another few years. He's going from here, Bengal to Punjab. He's having a fantastic track record. And I won't be surprised if Prashant Kishore is roped by the BJP in the 2024 general elections.
So a clear picture of how West Bengal will be governed will be known in a short while from now. We pretty much know by now what is going to happen. The TMC leaders would be elated with the fact that their campaign has worked in their favor. While on the other side, the BJP needs to hit the pause button and deliberate on what went wrong where. Also, most importantly, why the Bengali Bhadralok class is still not impressed with the BJP. Thank you very much for joining me. If at all you like the information that I've shared, do not forget to subscribe to TV9 Digital across all social media platforms. Thank you very much for joining me. Stay safe. Keep those masks on.